feel sorry for any true believers, and I know there were some who lived in this era. All they had was a big gap. They had a profile, but no one to fill it. They had an outline, but no name to put in it. All they could do was believe and hope someday, God, fill that outline with a person who can bring deliverance. Someday, bring a person who is not imperfect like Samson and Gideon, but who can be the holy king, who can bring salvation, who can bring out of chaos deliverance. Bring someone who doesn't just bring rest for a generation, but for generation after generation after generation. Please, God, bring someone. My father and my grandfather, all they've known is this terrible downward spiral of sin. Even those who profess your name turn away from you. Bring someone, please, God, bring someone who can stop the madness and deliver your people into rest. Who could that be? And then you get to the New Testament. And if I could, I would go back in time and say, He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He fills it in perfectly. None of the negative traits that you've seen in these judges and all of the prominence that you desperately wanted. He's coming. Yes, I know no one was found that could take up bringing rest for God's people, but He's coming. He's coming. He will come. He will defeat the enemies of Satan and sin and death and hell. He will vanquish them, not by driving a stake through their head, but by letting stakes be driven through His hands and through His feet. He will bow down in death, and He will destroy those enemies in His death. The weakness of the cross will vanquish the foes of God and will bring His people into a permanent rest, so that He can say to every believer, come to me and lay down your burdens and I will give you rest. And if anyone calls on the name of the Lord, they will be saved, and you will not have to live in the chaos of sin and doing what is right in your own eyes and choosing to distrust Yahweh, because Yahweh will become a man and will come to earth and will die on a cross and will save you and bring you into an eternal inheritance. And guess what? He'll never die. So the rest He brings to the land and to the people will last forever.